Welcome to the Nevermind podcast with your host Reem, and I have finally finished moving, guys. We're gonna kind of just keep it a very chit chat, casual episode. I really don't have like a hardcore topic to touch on today, but I have like a bunch of thoughts because I've been spending a lot of time um, within the social media world and pop culture and all of that. And I'm sure everybody, if you have like my real tab and everything like that, like I love following the influencer Olympics, and that is Coachella and all of that stuff. And listen, I don't know what is in the air. I don't know what secret that every major artist in the world knows, but why is every single artist right now releasing music, albums, singles, whatever? Because Sabrina Carpenter with Espresso, I'm working late because I'm a singer. Like that stuff like scratches the right part of my brain so beautifully, and I just know that it's going to be the song of my summer. Like I've already been hitting it so much on repeat, and I'm afraid that I'm going to overplay it to a point where it won't even be summer by the time I am sick of it. And I just don't want that to happen. So I'm trying to restrain myself from over listening and overplaying that song. But we have Tyla who released her debut album. We have Ariana who released her album, and Beyonce that released her album. And just this past weekend we had Taylor Swift releasing the Tortured Poets Department, which, oh my god, what interesting discourse on the interweb about this album. Like I have been eating this shit all up because literally I am that person that even when Ariana's album came out, like I have the Genius lyrics up and I'm following this album word for word. Like I did this with Beyonce's as well. Like I went through each and every song word for word, lyric for lyric, trying to decode what the context and like what every song is about, because it just makes the listening process so much more interesting and more fun for me, especially when you have albums like this coming out. That I would say all three of these albums, Beyonce, Ariana, and Taylor Swift, like all of these three albums, like it takes a minute to sink in what you have just listened to, because they are contextually such heavy albums, and that's what makes those like songs richer. And then sonically, they are a grower. I would say each and every single one of those albums were like I have to keep listening to it to get it, and that's what makes the songs even better to listen to, because the discourse around Tortured Poets, I have been eating that stuff up, because when I first heard it, I heard um what you call it, I heard the initial set of 15 songs, 16 songs that the album came out, like during midnight, Taylor Swift's album, and I listened to each and every single one of the songs, and it's such a dense album, and sonically not her best album, and I think everybody kind of knows that, but contextually and just overall, there's just so much. Like she was feeding us with so much information. Like it's like she took out the thesaurus and the dictionary and everything in between, and jam packed so much into that album. And then when 2 a.m. struck, like I was still awake and she dropped the anthology, I was like, I don't know if I can actually do this, but I sat, listened word for word, lyric for lyric, sat through. And honestly, this is what I love. Like, I love being a Swiftie, and I love the whole community aspect around it, because, like, you get it like the way other people just don't get it. Like, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. And it's like, I get the people who don't, because it's so dense of a world to get into, from the clues to the this to the that. Like, there's so much when the Taylor Swift scape. So I understand why this album is super easy to hate on, because I'm also, as much as I am a Swiftie, I'm also a critical Swiftie. Like I agree that her commercial music that ends up actually like being the popular ones, like those are the worst examples of how good of a songwriter she is. Like Folklore, Evermore, easily you can say that she displays the writing chops it takes to be like a great songwriter and like give you the most beautifully edited music, like actually like well rounded. Like it's such a, those two are such strong albums lyrically, and then you know that she has those examples of what it takes to make a strong pop album too. Exhibit A 1989, that when you listen to something like Poets, where it's like it, this is an album that needs editing, like she needed an editor. And she did say in a in one of her like performances that this album came from a need to write, and then I saw a critic write, but maybe we didn't need to listen to it. I mean, this is an album 100% for the fans, but not people who actually just became a fan after she dropped the Eras tour. Like this is so not a commercial album. I know it's still going to be a commercial album because all the eyeballs are on her, and this is just like such an interesting drop from Taylor Swift because she's like at the peak of her fame. Like everybody's got her eyeballs on her, like everybody is ready to criticize her, everybody is criticizing her. For her to drop probably the messiest album she probably could have is in like it's ballsy, I feel, because it's just not edited and it just is so full of the tea. It's so all over the place with emotions and everything, and sonically kind of boring. Like I hear the Lana, like I guess that's because of Jack Antonoff, her producer, but like who also produces for Lana Del Rey. But I guess it has so many Lana influences, and you can kind of you can hear it like it throughout the album. Like the song I Can Fix Him, No I Really Can. Like imagine that's somebody do this. Somebody put Lana's AI voice on that song I Can Fix Him, No I Really Can by Taylor Swift, and that song is quite literally a Lana Del Rey song. Like I've heard it before. But I do love that song. Like I love that song. And I think my favorite songs from the album are Florida. I love the song Florida, and Who's Afraid of Little Old Me. I do love that song. I have been screaming that nonstop. Also, I Can Do It with a Broken Heart is a bop, and honestly, I knew that this is what was gonna happen. Like the spot of that, she does these things where the most commercial songs, and I was talking about how I'm a critical Swiftie, but like I agree that Karma is my boyfriend is not a good lyric. It's not a good lyric. Like it is a cringe lyric. Like I'm not a fan of Shake It Off. I agree that those glitter gel pen songs can glitter gel pen a bit too much sometimes, but like that's versatility. She knows how to get the plays, she knows how to get the streams, and that's a businesswoman, cannot fault her for that. But like those are not the lyrics I want her to get like recognition on, but I know that's what makes her so easy to hate. Like I Can Do It with a Broken Heart, quite literally she made it so it could go viral from the album, like on the TikToks, on the reels, like I cry a lot, but I am so productive. It's an art, like right, relatable. But the fact that nobody's gonna hear the whole song and just gonna judge the entire song from that one line, which I get it, it's not the best sounding line, not the best written line, honestly. Like I'm so depressed that I act like it's my birthday every day is a little bit on the nose of a lyric, but the whole song is like so good. It's like the glitter gel pen version of You're on Your Own Kid from Midnights, and the fact that nobody will hear the whole song and understand like the production is so camp. Like that song is so camp because she's quite literally making fun of the whole like situation she's been in, and where she has to perform with a broken heart and all of that stuff. Like the one two three four, like the stuff that she hears in her in-ears when she's about to like perform, like there is so much detail onto that song. Again, sonically not the best song, but like again contextually an interesting song. Again, like I like there are so many takes I've heard about the album. Like I myself very bored, like it was so difficult to get through the album first. listen, but then while I kept listening to it more and more, like it's grown on me so much, and it's so interesting to listen to this album now because there's just so much going on. I heard some very interesting takes off of TikTok, crediting TikTok here, where it was like, um, I think why like I love this take that I found on TikTok was the reason why Swifties get so incredibly defensive and protective of Taylor Swift, like this white woman billionaire, is honestly because we have grown up to some degree with this woman, and she writes these songs of very very simple emotions of no she writes these songs of very complex emotions of like love and anger and heartbreak and high school and this and that. But like I think what rattles us is when people make fun of Taylor Swift and make fun of what kind of fans we are towards her and like why we like her, which first of all it's fucking stupid to hate on somebody for what they like you just like a person's music, like it's I don't know. Anyway, but I think why the Swifty community gets so defensive about it is because when you attack her and like what she writes about and like the music or whatever, you kind of take it personally because you relate to those emotions. Like she's got this entire demographic, kind of she's got her demographic of women, girls, little girls, even older women, everything. She's got like the women. And when you invalidate like her songwriting and her songs and like what she writes about and you think her songs are stupid, they take it very personally because you are by proxy kind of invalidating their emotions and their experiences that they're relating to, because this woman is quite literally like, putting it into words and putting it into song what they are feeling. Like they get so defensive because they see themselves in her, they feel heard, they feel seen by her music and her writing because they relate to like a certain incident that she's speaking about. And when you kind of attack her songwriting ability and you attack her songs and you think she's stupid and you think the fans are stupid, you completely invalidate their emotions and like because they relate to it, it's their emotions, they kind of take it as theirs. So I get it. Like I completely like I think it's just that she's also become such a behemoth like figure. Like she's become like such a figure to so many girls at this point of like she's like a symbol of nostalgia and she's all of those things that it's just hard to like separate yourself now. Also, I think people just get tired of constantly being told like you're stupid for liking somebody and like you're stupid. Why do you even like her? Like her music's not even good and her this and that. And you hear this chatter all around because she's such a big artist. And it's just like you kind of just get tired and you just want to like snap at them, I think. Because it's just like, why is it a conversation? Why is it something you need to comment on? Like if you like an artist. Mm. Like why don't people just get that she's relatable and why do you have to convince me that she makes bad music, and why do you have to convince me that, and I get it, like some Swifties are very like you can do no wrong, you can do this that. But that's the same way people are about like Kanye West. There are like fans like that, there are fans like that about lots of different rap artists. I see them all the time who mosh pit for Travis Scott. To me that's kind of similar. So, or Drake. Drake is also a big one. So, Weekend as well. Like so many of the male artists. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, that was my very long rant about the Tortured Poets Department. Loving it. Cannot wait for Billie Eilish's album as well. I saw her last year in concert, like at a music festival, and I would do anything to watch her live again. So I'm very excited that she's coming out with an album, which means that she will go on tour, which means that I could finally see her again. And that would be freaking amazing. Even my camera died to tell me that I need to stop talking about Taylor Swift. But honestly, such interesting discourse I've been seeing online. So good. What else have I been indulging in? Coachella, that is essentially what I wanted to like I've been seeing so many people talk about. Honestly, this year's Coachella made me want to go to Coachella for the first time ever. I feel like everybody was complaining about what a mid lineup it was, but honestly, like to me the lineup was so good because I've always wanted to see Doja Cat perform. Like she was supposed to perform and open for The Weekend like maybe 2 years ago, and then she had like some tonsils or something like that. So she had some throat operation, so she couldn't perform. So instead, we got Nada, which I'm not complaining about. But I would have loved to see Doja Cat, and she literally put on the most insane performance, and I would have loved to see that. And then what else? Lana Del Rey. Obviously, I really wanted to see Lana. Like I saw Lana back in 2019, but she looked so insane Coachella weekend one, and then she brought up Billie Eilish, and Billie Eilish is arguably again like one of those people I want to see, right? And I would like I loved like there was Jungle and what others? Sabrina Carpenter. I've been really into her. I think she's such a cute little pop princess. I've seen I've seen Sabrina Carpenter last year. I saw Sabrina Carpenter last year. I really, really loved her. What else? What else? What else? But I just thought the vibes of Coachella was really nice and it just looked good, and it made me want to go for it, especially after I attended my first ever music festival last year. I feel like I could really take it on, and I did go for Revolve Fest 2 years ago, and it really wasn't the best experience because I was a part of like this. I went the year where they had a lot of mishaps, but this year Revolve Fest looked really fun and everything just looked so well organized that it made me really want to go. And what was so amazing to watch, and I was following every single person that was going. Like I loved watching all the brown girls going to Coachella as well, like actually being like going with brands and getting like the VIP treatment that we deserve, because for so long Coachella, like I would always see Vanessa Hudgens go to Coachella wearing like bindis and like very bohemian Indian inspired things too. So I feel like Coachella is one of those, like it's hippie plus Indian, people borrow Indian aesthetic and Arab aesthetic and all of that stuff in the process of it. And I've just never seen enough brown people go. So it was really amazing to see so many cool brown creators. Like a girl, like a creator I know, Gurnaz went with Nyx, and Sirat Sani went with Push, and I saw so many others. Like off the top of my head, those two I was like religiously following their stuff. It was so freaking cool to see. So it's just nice to know that the door is open for more Indian creators to actually be a part of the Coachella like scene. Um so yeah, that was really cool to watch. But the vibes just looked so nice for Coachella this year. So I've been really indulging on the influencer Olympics this year, and I loved like Madeleine White's outfits. Like she always knows how to pull out a look. Like my favorite outfit that she wore was the rose look. So good. Um that one, like, and I love like watching Isabel's Archella. If anybody knows that's also really fun to watch. So yeah, lots of cool stuff that I was watching. And it's really hard sometimes when you watch these huge events from a creator's perspective. Like I've definitely thought about that, because in one way you feel a little bit of like hope, and you can't wait to be like a part of something like that. Like that, you can't help but think like, when will you be a part of something like that? Because it is like an event for the job, I guess. Like it's like something that you aspire towards. It's kind of like being considered in your company to go for like an offsite project. So you kind of always want, like, even as like a creator, like going on brand trips is like one of those like dreams. So you can't help like me watching it as a creator, like looking at it from that perspective, but also just really enjoying it as a consumer. Anyway, as you can tell, it's getting very dark. It's so dark. We started this with all the light outside. Anyway, that tells me that I need to stop. recording in the dark, honestly. Okay. Bye. See you guys in the next episode. Bye.